Good evening, parents. Good evening, in particular, to my Madison 162 parents, to Southland parents, and to all the members of the community that are just supportive of us in general. I've been looking forward to this day for some time. As you're well aware, it was our original intent to open in a hybrid structure, and we anticipated that our students would be in on Monday and Wednesday, if their last names began with A to K, and remote on Friday. Students whose names began with the rest of the alphabet would be in Tuesday, Thursday, and still remote on Friday. That day has come. That day has come. It's November 2nd. Write that down, November 2nd. Now, you probably are thinking, what has changed? Quite a bit has changed. First of all, over time, we've been studying the positivity rate in the state of Illinois. And as you know, it is under 4%, sometimes 3.4, 3.5. I think we've been as high as 3.6. That's considered to be a moderate rate of exposure. Moderate doesn't mean that it's not there. We know that this virus permeates our environment. It's not going anywhere. But in South Cook, we were as high as 6.9 positivity, and now the rate in our area has gone down, and we too are at a moderate rate of exposure. And so we thought about that. But then we had the regulations at the Illinois Department of Public Health stipulated that all schools were to be able to do if we were to come back to any kind of children within our environment, children doing anything that was in our schools. And we have accomplished all of that. We were always comfortable with our children coming back with masks on. When I say comfortable, I've had a mask on every day since March, and other than probably some circles under my eyes, I'm okay. Children were here for summer school. They were perfectly fine. And all of our buildings now, and you know there's 492 educators that are out there in our 8 schools. Everyone is masked. We're okay. And we know that children coming back will adjust, but we have some opportunities for them to take their mask off during the day and go outside and get some fresh air. So coming back with mask does not disturb us. We were always going to be taking temperatures. Now you're going to hear about something called self-certification, and I'm not going to get into that today, but you're going to become a part of our medical team, so to speak, because you will also be looking at temperatures at home and giving us information. But once again, you're giving us information through technology. It's going to be through our Power School structure, which we've always had. But you know, Power School was unique probably 4 or 5 years ago. Remember when we made that change and we started putting attendance, grades, and everything in Power School, and that was a new venture for us. Now Power School is a part of everyday activity. And so we'll be able to self-certify. We have a person that is in charge of contact tracing. But what is interesting, there's a large group of us. I told you 490. We really have not been able to trace a positive designation from within the 162 Southland family. People, teachers, parapros, others have apparently come in contact with someone that was positive in terms of the virus, but as we traced it back, it wasn't coming from within, may I say, although I know nothing about basketball, I'll say within our bubble, so to speak. So we're good with that, and that was one of the things that we had to involve ourselves in, contact tracing. We were always prepared to social distance. I don't know when we've hugged anyone. Smaller children will put their arms out and they'll know that no one is to come close to them. That's not an issue. Transportation is not an issue because we are decreasing the numbers of children on our buses. And this issue of a fitted N95 mask, we didn't know what to do with that in August. But now we know that hospitals at a cost will fit our 8 nurses with N95 masks. So we're ready. We're ready. And you may be thinking, but the virus is still out there. That's true. That's true. But the decision that we had to make was whether or not we allowed our children the opportunity to have any in-person education, or do we stay down and stay closed until 2021? And that would be a depressing thought. Do you know, and I'm not demeaning remote education. I think our teachers are doing a fantastic job. But you know that there are some children that really need the presence of the classroom, need the presence of the teacher. They need to socialize. There are so many things that we do in a school other than just to teach reading and math. As a matter of fact, teaching reading and math is done while we do all the other things that we do. Part of it is character and how we treat each other, how we interact with each other. But a school is a unique environment, and we believe that it's time. So November 2nd. But this AB structure, are there any deviations from that? And the answer is, look at the Richton Square. The Richton Square houses our 3 and 4 year olds. They're going to have a slightly different structure. They will be in Monday through Friday, but only a half a day. And the principal is Mrs. Parham. So if you have any specific questions of her, then you can discuss that with her. We also looked at our special education population, and our director of special ed, Mrs. Dusky, and on the other side of the house, Mrs. Blazette, feel that we should offer those students 4 days, Monday through Thursday, so that they would have more time on task, more time for intervention, more time for personal attention. So we're coming back. First of all, I think in our state, this is where we're going to be from now until we close in June. Secondly, everything that we've been asked to do in terms of the Illinois Department of Public Health, we're now prepared to do. So starting today, which is the 26th, moving towards November 2nd, we have things that we need to accomplish. The first thing would be the indication as to whether or not you want in-face instruction or you want to continue with the remote instruction. There's a time frame for that. We're looking at November and December, and then we will come back to you sometime at the end of the December during the Christmas break to ask what you want to do as we go into the new year. One of the questions that someone asked me is why November and December? If you look at November and December, first of all, we come back on the Monday, the 2nd. The next day is Election Day. Election Day this year is a national holiday, so we're down, we're closed. We're cleaning, we're down, we're closed. The next week we have Veterans Day, and so it's the same kind of a break where we have additional time for sanitation, but you have additional time also, because I know that if you have your children in-house with us or they're at home, there's a certain stress and a concern you have, and so we wanted to take that into consideration also. At the end of November, we're all aware that it's the Thanksgiving break. So we break for Thanksgiving. So we have about 3.5 weeks in November of good, solid instruction. But with the holidays that we have, I think it gives us an opportunity to do all the things that we need to do, not only to keep the children safe, but to keep you sane out there, because you're constantly thinking, as are we. When we come back in December, We're going to try to do some things to put some smiles on the faces of the children. You know, we've always had these huge Christmas celebrations. Maybe not a huge celebration, but there will be occasions for the children to celebrate the holidays and to sing and just to be who they are, happy children. They need to come out and to come in to our environment. But even if you decide that you're going to be on remote, we have a excellent, excellent videography program. And so we're going to make sure that we push something out to you, even if you've made the decision that you're going to stay out. A good example of that on October 3rd at Southland is the induction of the Honor Society. So we will have 20 students inside. But you know what? On Google Meets, you will be there, parents. And I don't know if you watch American Idol or the Emmys or anything like that, and you see a whole wall of people. That's where you will be. So you will be able to see everything that is going on here in terms of the induction. Your children will be able to see you, but you will not be within our environment. So that's what we're thinking about, those kinds of things for November and December. But November and December were chosen for specific reasons because we don't want to open and then have to go immediately down. We absolutely don't want to do that. During the Christmas holiday, and you know that I doubt seriously if you're going to be able to stay away from all family for Christmas dinner, for New Year's, etc. So we thought about that, and we thought about the exposure. And so therefore, we intend to open the second week in January. Why? We know that any kind of exposure, science tells us that after 14 days, it no longer exists. And so it's better for us to be safe. And so therefore, we pushed our reopening back. But during that time frame, it could be that you will decide that you want your children to have the in-school experience, or you may want to change back in the other way. We'll be in the midst of our cold winter season. I have no idea what will happen. You know, the theory was that the summer would kill the virus. It didn't. I don't know if there's another theory that says intense cold weather will do anything to the virus. All that we can do is be as careful as possible, protect the children, protect the teachers, and do everything that we can to educate them in terms of the remote side of the house and the in-person side of the house. And that is what we intend to do. So we're in this process now of reopening. The first thing, you should expect calls the week of September 28th from your elementary teachers. Southland parents have direct access to Power School in your parent portal, and so you're going to indicate whether you want in-person education or remote. And meanwhile, everyone is going to be looking at whether or not your child is in compliance in terms of all the shots they need, in terms of physicals and all those kinds of things that might limit your decision. But remember, the very worst that can happen to your child is that they remain on remote. This has been a good experience for us. We've learned more about technology than we ever thought within a short period of time. When I met with the teachers and they came back in August, I saw their faces. I thought, how is this going to work? But you know what? A teacher is a teacher. We're accustomed to meeting educational challenges. We're accustomed to change. We're accustomed to a new structure. And our teachers have done an absolutely magnificent job bringing a continuous flow of information and interaction with your children on a day-to-day basis. But there are some children and some parents that really want that in-class, face-to-face contact, and we're determined to do that. And so November 2nd is our day. November 2nd is our day. I'm here if you have questions for me, but remember, you just finished some wonderful presentations from all of your principals. They're there to answer questions, but we would be remiss when we see an opportunity to go to the hybrid if we did not take advantage of that. We actually, as educators, could not face leaving the children out there until 2021. It's a long time. It's a long time. So, as usual, I thank you for everything that you do on a daily basis. You're the ones that make us successful. You're the ones that give us confidence and faith and the ability to fight on. It's been an interesting last few months, but you know what? Perhaps by next year, this time, we'll think, remember the period of time when we fought this thing called COVID-19. Maybe it'll be just a memory and we will have moved on, and that's our hope. But I know one thing, and that is November 2nd is our day, so I'm looking forward to that. Thank you so much, and stay safe.